When West Ham go to make a signing, I tend to get excited. It's usually positive feelings, and it can be for various different reasons. It could be we're signing a player I don't know loads about, but other people think it's a good signing for us. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they can do in a Claret and Blue shirt, like Skamaka, like Guilherme. It could be that I know about the player and I think he will be a good signing for West Ham, like Sebastian Haller. It could be someone coming in that the manager really wants, and I'm happy because of that, like Max Kilman. It could be someone coming in to fix what has been a bit of a problematic position for us, like Maxwell Cornet. I should probably stop getting excited about transfers, really, shouldn't I? But sometimes there are transfers that make me a little bit nervous, like James Ward-Prowse felt a bit expensive. Evan Ferguson, it's increasingly likely this transfer will happen, but I'm getting more and more nervous. And it's because of his injury record, yes, but that can be offset a little bit with his ability, because I think he's a really good striker when fit. He's just not fit that much. But what's making me really nervous is the deal itself. Now, this feeling I've got can be eased completely, that if he does join West Ham and it's a straight loan or it's an option to buy, I can relax. However, if it contains an obligation or it's a permanent transfer, then I'm going to get worried, because it's going to be a hefty price tag for West Ham. And it's off the back of Graham Potter's press conference, really. Because confirmation bias, I think, is a very natural thing for a human being to have. Based on your opinion, you make predictions, and then you look for reasons to think that your prediction will come true. And it's not necessarily to go, ha, told you, I was right. It's more to reassure yourself that perhaps you're not going mental, that what you think is going to happen may occur. And Graham Potter spoke quite a bit about the transfer window and the transfer strategy at West Ham. No transfer targets. He refused to speak about them, despite the journalists asking about 3 different times and starting to mention and off the back of it, mention Ferguson. This is why, by the way, tone in text is incredibly difficult. I hate it. I hate reading things and sending text messages. If there's a serious conversation to have, I refuse to do it through text, because tone is impossible. If you read what Graham Potter said and you didn't know Graham Potter could be a little bit tongue-in-cheek and I think he's quite a likeable person, but because you know it's Potter, you can read it knowing that it's said with a little bit of a joke and a smile on his face. But if it was a spikier manager that said exactly what Graham Potter said, you'd have thought, oh, what a so-and-so, what he said to journalists. Anyway, it's worth watching if you haven't done so already. Basically, journalists asked about transfers, and Potter said, are you not bored of asking this? You were here last week, and you asked the same question. I told you the same thing. I ain't speaking about anyone that's not a West Ham player. And then the journalist went, well, what about Ferguson? And you just, point proven. Anyway. But not only did he discuss that, he spoke about how it's important to get the right signing. He said it's easy to make a signing, but to make the right one, the right fit for the club, that's more difficult. And it could have implications in future. And this is where confirmation bias kicks in. But that's what we're going to discuss today, as well as being linked to Liverpool's Tyler Morton, someone I know a little bit about because I've seen him quite a few times. But if you're new to the channel and you need to have a chat, please do subscribe. And also drop a like on the video by clicking thumbs up. Got 1,000 likes yesterday. Thank you very much. We could get 1,000 again today on this video. That would be good. And later on today, we'll have our Chelsea preview up. Looking forward to it, the preview and also the game itself. But the confirmation for me was, if we were to spend money this window, or we commit to spending money in the summer but bring him in now, so loan with an obligation, it would come out of the summer's transfer budget. And it's something I think most of us suspect, and I think it's a fair assumption. We spent 130 million or something in the summer, plus we've got the 35 million obligation on Tadebo because he's met the appearance threshold. Now we just have to stay in the Premier League, which we will. We're not getting relegated, so we're going to fork out 35 million for him. Plus, if Graham Potter wishes to retain Carlos Soler, he might not. But even if he doesn't, he still needs replaced. But if he doesn't wish to retain, if he does wish to retain Carlos Soler, that's another 20 million. So maybe 55 million of the summer's transfer budget is already going to be spent to keep the squad the same as it is going into next season. That's expensive. So I think it's fair to assume that if we were to bring Ferguson in today, on loan without an obligation, that money would come out the summer transfer budget. And the price tag going around for Evan Ferguson over the last couple of days is 40 million. That is a lot of money. Now, he's had a bad injury record. I think that's fair to say. And these players tend to come at a discount, and you could argue he is that a couple of years ago when he first came onto the scene at Brighton, and he was brilliant a couple of seasons ago. Strong, held the ball up really well, good finisher. There was a lot of hype around him, and understandably so. I was one of those watching him thinking, wow, what a sensation this is. And also thinking, how have they done this again, eh? How come Brighton just have this conveyor belt of talent? But it was priced up, 100 million. Man, you were interested, 100 million. And when I watched it, I didn't think, oh, you're taking the piss here. So, you know what, fair. He's 18 years old. Stick a 100. We did the same with Declan Rice. You know, he, after a number of appearances in the Premier League, we said 60. Well, it was maybe not 100, but strikers go for more. Striker tax. But we did it straight away. Bang. There goes. It's a bit like if somebody came after Ollie Scarles today. He's had a handful of appearances for West Ham's first team. If you said to me, Arsenal are interested in Ollie Scarles, what's the price tag? I'd be sitting here going 10, 15 million. Is he a 10, 15 million pound player? No. Not yet, but you're buying the potential. You're buying the fact that there's a youngster playing first team football in the Premier League. It's rare. So I guess we are getting him at a discount, 60% off really, but he's not even available for 60% of games. My point is, 40 million is a lot of money for a discontinued, he's not dying, discounted player. It makes you think, well, why are Brighton selling him? Well, we know why Brighton are selling him, because they know he's injury prone. He's been fit pretty much all season without playing, got injured anyway, then he's missed a month's worth of football. Now, Hersler did his press conference yesterday as well. Didn't watch it, so I had to read it and apply my own tone to the text. And he's basically confirmed Ferguson is available on loan. And I think it's quite a clever stance he's taking, because he said, you know, for this next 6 months, we're having conversations over Ferguson's development for the next 6 months. But long term, I like him. He's a good profile of player, an old school number 9. He was saying all the right things to keep the price up rather than sitting there and go, he basically said he's available, but bring your checkbook. And that's Brighton's stance. But at the same time, Brighton are perhaps open to selling Evan Ferguson. The Saudis are bidding 65 million euro, high 50 million for Mitoma. And Brighton have rejected it, and they're not even entertaining it. They're saying, nope, no chance, go away. And there's talk they're going to come back with an 80 million euro bid for him. So it's not that Brighton need money. We know that because of their transfer business saying that. They had a big spend up, didn't they? But because of the last few seasons, PSR, they're fine. So they don't need money. So Ferguson isn't being sold because they need to raise cash. Mitoma's there. 1.5 times the price maybe they'd be able to get for him. So why are they selling Ferguson? 40 million. It's too much. If it was 25 million, it becomes punt money a little bit and there's a bit of leftover lolly for the summer. But this is my worry, and this is why I'm nervous, and this is my own personal desire for the summer transfer window. I want us to get in a top striker in the summer, and I believe we could. Financially, Ferguson's 40 million. It's not cheap. That is a lot of money. It's more money than most clubs could spend on a striker. And that's just the start. You know, could you maybe raise a bit of money and put an extra 10, 15, 20 million on top of that? Then suddenly you can buy most strikers in the world of football. We're into Liam Delap price tag territory then. I think he's a better player. I think there's no injury issues there with him. More complete. Yes, he's a couple of years older. I don't really care. I'd much prefer Liam Delap. It's confirmation bias. It's just my personal thing that I want. And I just worry that if our answer is Evan Ferguson for 40 million, we could be having the exact same conversation that we're having over the last few weeks. We could be having it in 12 months' time, saying we need a striker on loan because our striker is injured. We signed an injury-prone player and he's broke down. Why are West Ham surprised? Now, this is in regards to Fulkrug, but you could believe that that's a conversation we're having in 12 months regarding Evan Ferguson. And I just think, listen, a loan, I don't care if it's an option to buy. I've seen a rumour that we're going to put an option to buy him there to entice Brighton. Don't understand how that entices Brighton. I think that entices West Ham, having the capacity to purchase him for a set price. That don't. It might. You could argue that it shows intent that we'll sign him in the summer. Does it though? Really? Put an obligation to buy him there then if you want to buy him in the summer. An option to buy does not entice. You will not convince me that we go, can we have him on loan? They go, no. And go, okay, can we have him on loan? We might buy him for 40 million in the summer. I just struggle to believe Brighton go, oh, okay then. Yeah, sure. You've twisted my arm. Go on then, because I believe you're going to do that. Just cause I just see it as a barrier to negotiations. My other small worry, and it's a small one because Herzl has confirmed Ferguson's fit for the weekend. He's back in training now. It's like if he was to fail a medical, let's just say we got a bid done today, it got accepted. Ferguson's not in the Brighton squad tomorrow. Has his medical with West Ham tomorrow. It's always a two-part thing and usually a 2-day thing with West Ham. Let's say we fast track it, speedy boarding. There he goes. Problem. We're now into Sunday, 2 days left of transfer window. We don't have a striker because we've waited so long for Ferguson, and the injury-prone guy failed a medical. We'll wait and see. And I appreciate this is a bit negative. This is not a reflection on his ability. I want to stress that. It's purely a reflection of his injury history and the future implications for West Ham. Because I've sort of convinced myself that if we sign Ferguson, we won't be spending big on a striker in the summer. This will be the big signing. It all depends on the terms of the loan move. If it's an option to buy or there isn't one, no obligation, I'll be happy. Obligation, I'm going to get nervous. I'll be excited to see him play because, like, when he's fit, he will be good. Niklas Füllkrug, when Füllkrug is fit, he will be a good player for West Ham. The issue isn't his ability. The issue is getting him on the pitch. Anyway, Tyler Morton. We've been linked to him, Liverpool's central midfielder. I'm going to tell you a little bit of a story, I guess. Over the last few seasons, I pick 3 Championship clubs to follow. Not support, I don't root for them. But if there's no Premier League game on, so for example, last Saturday, there was no 12:30 game. So I had to pick a Championship game to watch. Now, obviously at 12 o'clock, there's only a couple of them on, so I had to sit through Stoke playing Oxford. But during the week, EFL, during the week, I'll pick, there's 3 clubs and I'll watch one of them if I can. So last season, it was Ipswich Town, Hull City and Borough. This season, for anyone interested, it's Sunderland, still Borough. I like watching them. And Sheffield Wednesday because of the manager. So anyway, last season, because of Hull City, Liam Senior played good football. A lot of good players there. You know, I really liked Ryan Giles at left back. I thought he'd be someone that would go on and make it wrong. Jake Greaves in there, Carvalho, Philogene, Liam Delap. Some really good players. But in midfield, they had Seri and they had Tyler Morton. So I've seen a bit of him. To say I watched him 20 times would be a lie. But between 5 and 10 times maybe I watched Hull City last season. But was enjoyable. Like I said, good football. And I'm surprised the senior left in the summer. But he's obviously in France now. That's why when we got linked to that guy, it sounds like The Watch, Omega. Strasbourg, Lima Senior's now the manager there. Mark Keller is involved. We'll speak about another former West Ham player helping West Ham out in the transfer market in a second. But in regards to Tyler Morton, so that's the context. Not sure. Now, I think the writing's on the wall for him now because Liverpool played PSV in the Champions League on Wednesday night. Heavily rotated side. Didn't start. McConnell started ahead of him. McConnell's 2 years younger than Tyler Morton. Now, Morton came on and got 40 minutes and got a booking in that time. But someone younger than him started in his position in the team. So I think that's a bit of an indication. The summer that just passed, Bayer Leverkusen tried to sign Morton and Liverpool was Arne Slot said, no, we're going to keep him. I think maybe there was a bit of a homegrown thing going on there with him as well for ticking that box and thinking we might as well just keep him. Will his value really depreciate come January? We can loan him out. He wasn't great at Blackburn from what I believe. When he joined Hull, I think there was a lot of Blackburn fans thought, oh, he's not that good a player. But their manager at the time really liked him. The Danish... Dal Thomason, is that his name? John Dal Thomason, John Dal Thomason. I can't think why I don't know his name, but he rated him highly, more highly than the Blackburn players. Went to Hull, played central midfield in a deep position. The senior played a back four, high attacking fullback, so he played in like the double pivot in front of the defence. Sounds familiar? It is the way that Potter's been playing, but next to Seri, I think he was a really good midfielder, a bit old, but really good. Not a ball-winning player. That's what I will say. He's not an aggressive defensive midfielder that's going to be putting in the tough tackles and winning the ball back. However, on the ball, he was really good. His distribution was really good. His passing was good. Quite creative from deep, I guess, in regards to those attacking players further up the pitch. Comfortable getting the ball from the centre-backs, and the way that the senior had Hull playing, they played it out from the back a lot. They were one of the teams... You can see a bit of a pattern as to which teams I follow, I think. But he's very comfortable doing that aspect of it and distributing the ball. I'm just unsure of him. I appreciate I'm rating him based on 10 games at Hull City, but he didn't stand out. There was a lot of players that stood out in that whole team. Morton, to me, looked like a solid central midfielder in the Championship, and that was it. The price tag on him is about 20 million because obviously Liverpool, this will benefit Liverpool massively because of PSR, academy player. This is just pure profit, this sale. On loan, yes. This is the type of player. Get him on loan with an option to buy so Potter can have a look at him. Even if he doesn't play loads, he can evaluate him and decide in the summer. But when you've got Freddie Potts there and when you've got Lewis Orford there, it's one of them. I think I'm not sold on this one, actually. Good player, but I just don't feel it's perhaps necessary just yet at West Ham. Now, moving on to Josh Landers. We've signed him. 17-year-old striker from Hibs. It's confirmed. Hibs confirmed it last night. He's joined West Ham. We're going to our 21s team. Who sold him to West Ham? Malky Mackay. Malky Mackay sold him. He's the director at Hibs. £200,000, I believe, although it's undisclosed and it's a six-figure sum of money. It's 200 grand plus they've got a sell-on clause. I don't know much. If anyone's thinking, here he is, he's finally going to tell us, he's going to use his Scottishness to inform us of this player from Scotland. I have a couple of appearances for the first team. Held in high regard by Hibs fans, I think, in one of those. He never really got a chance. But there's an abundance of talent, young talent leaving Scotland to go down to England. It's money, the wages West Ham can offer Landers is more than what a first team player at Hibs, well, maybe not quite that, but it'll be on level with what a first team player at Hibs is on. So financially, it's hugely beneficial for them to move to England. And to be fair, I think going abroad is a few of them are hanging on and going over to Italy in particular at the minute too. So I can't really tell you much about him except Hibs fans too. I spoke to someone that's a Hibs fan, and his evaluation was knows where the goal is, but he's a bit slow. That was his summary. But one of their top young players, if you like. So I guess it would be like our Callum Marshall moving to a different club. So Josh Landers has joined. So we'll wait and see if that one comes of anything. 200 grand we've spent on him, which I guess is a lot of money for an under-21s player. But if he makes it in the first team at West Ham, absolutely not. Anyway, let me know what you think about Evan Ferguson and Tyler Morton in the comments below. Maybe you know a little bit about Josh Landers. Get involved in the comments. Thank you very much for joining me. Please do drop a like on the video before you depart. I hope you have a fantastic Friday and you come back later on for the Chelsea preview. And I'll catch you in a bit.